My name is Allan Mukungu. I'm the Senior Economic Affairs Officer in the Office of the UN Secretary General's Special Envoy for the Great Lakes region. I'm based in Nairobi, and basically my job is about implementing one of the commitments of the Peace, Security and Cooperation Framework, which was signed by the leaders of the Great Lakes region in 2013, and which also required the Special Envoy to organize a private sector investment conference. Usually such conferences of the private sector, especially at the regional level, are conferences which are aimed at people with big monies who can invest in big projects. But given the conflict sensitivities in the Great Lakes region, one of the key considerations we had to take into account was the fact that whatever investment we make in the Great Lakes region had to meet the principles of responsible investment. And that means they have to ensure that they meet the environmental sustainability standards, they meet the social standards, and also they meet the good governance standards. So, considering this, one of the things that we have set out to do is to make sure that it's not only the big people, the big companies which participate in the private sector investment conference, but we want to see how the grassroots who have borne the brunt of the conflicts in the region also participate in this conference. And there's no better way to do this than to involve the small and medium-sized enterprises which are operating at the grassroots level. These are the enterprises which are employing between 10 and 50 people. And in employing those people, they are able to sustain more than 300 people who depend on each one of those employees. So in that way, if these people step up their income, then we can see that we are uplifting more people out of poverty. Now, we have organized this as one of the series of events in preparing for the private sector investment conference. In September last year, we held a workshop in Addis Ababa, which looked at the regulatory environment and the investment climate in the region, and made some recommendations towards how we can improve the investment climate so that we can attract investors, some of whom are already in the region, but especially those who are coming from outside the region. Now, we also, to meet the principles of responsible investment, we are preparing the small and medium-sized enterprises, convening them to come together, sensitizing them to this conference and these principles of responsible investment, and preparing them to be ready to take part in the conference, but also to partake in the opportunities that we shall present at the conference when the big investors start making investments in this conference, so that the value chains of these investments can then trickle down on the ground to the vast population of the region. We hope